Well, Mike, for everyone who isn't satisfied with the amount of snow that the state has seen so far this winter, this might be their week.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting week no matter what, Hannah. And a fun little fact to start this off. A month from today, the sun will set around 7 o'clock, a little bit earlier.
Yes, I love that.
You know, I think there's a lot of people out there who are ready for winter to kind of see its way out the door, start to let some spring air in. It's going to feel more like spring and summer here in just about a month, at least when it comes to sunrise and sunset times. Of course, by this time next month, we will have already sprung forward with the clocks. Still a lot of winter weather headlines from Caribou all the way down to Houston, and the entire state of Texas now under a winter storm warning. So not something you see all that often. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas completely underneath those winter storm warning headlines, with a lot more up through the Tennessee and Ohio valleys and all the way up to us here in New England. It's going to be an active weather week. A lot of cold air in the central U.S., some warmer air across the southeast, and the battle zone between those two air masses is where we're going to see a lot of that storm track and where a lot of that activity actually ends up, which of course we are right on the cusp of all of that. February snow so far, showing this one more time just to put the numbers out there. Slightly below average compared to what a quote-unquote normal month would be, but I think all of these numbers are going to start increasing possibly as early as tomorrow evening. We've got some cloud cover here. I'm expecting partly cloudy skies tonight. Variable cloud cover, really not a huge issue. Here's what is eventually going to become a bit more organized and become our storm. We've got snow, Oklahoma City down through Dallas. And we've got some snow starting to appear through parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi right now, with some freezing rain being reported. I was keeping an eye on that. Wicked icy through the deep south, not really all that typical. Parts of Texas and Oklahoma do get ice storms pretty much every winter, but not quite to the extent that we've seen over the last few days and what's to come the next few days. Hour-by-hour forecast locally, though, we see again partly cloudy skies tonight. Temperatures for most between about 15 and 20 degrees, a little warmer along the coastline. As early as noon tomorrow, we see some snow showers up the Connecticut River Valley along the Vermont and New Hampshire borders, but I just dropped my clicker. Really not much else going on here locally. What's going to happen after that, though, is where it gets a little more interesting. We increase the cloud cover and we start to see some light snow showers here in the evening. This model not really showing much, but I think we could be in for about a coating to 2 inches of snow as that moisture starts to build in tomorrow. So here's that batch of moisture again, moves through, and then we see that more organized storm for Tuesday. By Tuesday morning, if you live on the coastline, especially in southwestern Maine, I think you'll already have seen that switch over to sleet. That's what I'm expecting here. Haven't changed this map much from this morning, but we've got snow to sleet along the entire coastline, all the way up to Penobscot, Bangor included. Mostly snow, maybe some sleet mixing in the foothills and through central Maine. And then north of that is where we see all snow, which is where we will likely have the highest snow totals. About 8 to 12 inches expected for the high peaks of Maine into northern Maine. 5 to 8 Route 2 in central Maine. 2 to 5 at the coastline. And I think maybe even parts of coastal York County will struggle to get to that 2-inch mark, depending on just how quickly the warm air moves in and we switch over to sleet. But we're not done after that. We've got one more on the way, and this one could be a bit more interesting because if it tracks farther west, we actually could end up with some rain here. The longer range outlook starting to favor a bit more mild air to end the month. We'll see how it all plays out. Seas tomorrow, 2 to 3 feet, northeast wind 10 to 15 knots, gusting to 20 knots. 7-day forecast inland. Wednesday is going to feel a bit colder, but it will be sunny. And then our next storm Thursday into Friday before we have a quieter weekend ahead of us. It will be windy out there again on Saturday, a bit blustery. And Hannah, beyond this, things to me are starting to look a bit calmer. So will this be kind of the last hurrah for, you know, big organized storms for the next few weeks? It's possible that we end up in a quieter pattern. We'll see.
All right. Yeah, we certainly will see. Thank you so much, Mike.